Welcome to Farming Aid.
Most people believe success in ranching comes from choosing the same cattle breeds everyone else talks about. Angus, Hereford, and a few familiar names dominate conversations, auctions, and marketing campaigns. But seasoned ranchers know the real story is not always found in the spotlight. Some of the most profitable and resilient herds in the country are built around cattle most people rarely mention. These are breeds that thrive without constant inputs, handle tough conditions with ease, and quietly deliver results year after year. They are not ignored because they fail, they are overlooked because they do not need hype to prove their value. In this video, we are pulling back the curtain on 3 hidden cattle breeds that smart ranchers rely on but rarely promote. These cattle excel where it actually matters on fertility, efficiency, longevity, and adaptability. If you are tired of high feed bills, unpredictable performance, or chasing trends that never quite pay off, this conversation may change how you think about building a herd. Stick around, because understanding why experienced ranchers keep these breeds to themselves could give you an advantage most people never see. One of the most quietly impressive breeds in the American cattle landscape is the beefmaster. On paper, beefmaster cattle do not look flashy. They are not known for extreme marbling photos or oversized frames that win show rings. What they are known for, among those who actually raise them, is balance. Beefmasters were developed with a simple philosophy called the 6 essentials: weight, conformation, milk production, fertility, hardiness, and disposition. That focus created cattle that do well where others struggle. Ranchers who rely on beefmasters appreciate how consistently the cows breed back, how calmly they handle stress, and how well their calves gain on forage that would leave more popular breeds lagging behind. The real reason beefmasters stay under the radar is because they shine in real-world conditions rather than ideal ones. On marginal pasture, in heat, humidity, or inconsistent forage quality, beefmasters keep producing. Their Brahman influence gives them heat tolerance and parasite resistance, while their British genetics contribute meat quality and maternal strength. Smart ranchers notice how beefmaster cows stay in the herd year after year without needing special treatment. That longevity quietly saves money, but it is not something that shows up in glossy ads. When a cow lasts several extra calving seasons, the math works heavily in the rancher's favor, and beefmasters do that with very little drama. Another reason beefmasters are rarely talked about is how well they cross with other breeds. Ranchers who value hybrid vigor often keep beefmaster genetics as a core component of their herd. The resulting calves tend to be vigorous at birth, fast-growing, and resilient. That consistency reduces surprises, which is exactly what experienced operators want. The cattle world often rewards hype and extremes, but beefmasters reward patience and planning. That is why many ranchers quietly stick with them and let others chase trends. Equally overlooked but deeply respected by those in the know is the red devon. While many people assume devon cattle are more of a historical curiosity, red devon cattle have quietly earned a reputation as one of the most efficient grass-based beef breeds available. These cattle trace their roots back hundreds of years, and that long history shaped them into animals that convert forage into beef with remarkable efficiency. Ranchers who focus on low-input systems pay close attention to red devon because they thrive without heavy grain feeding or constant intervention. Red devon cattle are moderate in size, which is something modern ranching often underestimates. Smaller framed cattle require less maintenance energy, meaning more of what they eat goes into growth and reproduction rather than just staying alive. Ranchers who have switched to red devon often notice improved pasture utilization and reduced feed costs. These cattle graze evenly and do not overwork the land, which supports long-term soil health. That relationship between cattle and pasture is something regenerative ranchers deeply value, and red devon fits that model naturally. The beef quality from red devon cattle is another reason they are quietly prized. The meat is well marbled, tender, and flavorful, especially when grass-finished. Many direct-to-consumer beef producers rely on Red Devon genetics because customers consistently comment on taste. However, because the breed does not dominate feedlots or commodity markets, it rarely gets mainstream attention. Smart ranchers do not mind that at all. Limited demand keeps breeding stock prices reasonable and allows those who understand the breed to maintain a competitive edge. Red Devon cattle also have excellent maternal traits. The cows calve easily, raise strong calves, and maintain body condition even in challenging environments. That reliability reduces labor and stress, two costs that are often overlooked when people compare breeds on paper. Ranchers who value peace of mind as much as profit find Red Devon cattle quietly outperforming expectations year after year. They do not need special marketing campaigns because their results speak for themselves. The third hidden gem that smart ranchers often keep to themselves is the pineywoods cattle. To many people, pineywoods cattle look unimpressive at first glance. They are smaller, leaner, and far removed from the bulky image many associate with beef production. But dismissing pineywoods cattle based on appearance alone is a mistake that experienced ranchers rarely make. These cattle are one of the most adaptable and resilient breeds found in the United States, shaped by centuries of survival in harsh, low-input environments. Pineywoods cattle descend from Spanish cattle brought to the American Southeast hundreds of years ago. Over generations, they adapted to heat, humidity, parasites, poor forage, and rugged terrain. The result is a breed that thrives where others fail. Ranchers who operate in challenging environments, especially areas with limited resources, quietly rely on pineywoods cattle because they require so little to remain productive. These cattle forage aggressively, browse a wide variety of plants, and make use of land that would be considered unusable for more demanding breeds. What truly sets pineywoods cattle apart is their fertility and longevity. Cows routinely calve into advanced age without issues, and they maintain strong mothering instincts. Calves are born small, reducing calving problems, but they grow steadily and efficiently. While pineywoods cattle may not produce the heaviest carcasses, their efficiency often balances that out. When feed costs are minimal and veterinary interventions are rare, profitability takes on a different shape. Smart ranchers understand that net profit matters more than raw production numbers. Pineywoods cattle also play an important role in conservation and sustainable agriculture. Their grazing patterns help maintain diverse pastures, and their genetic traits represent valuable insurance against future challenges such as climate extremes or disease pressure. Ranchers who value independence and resilience see pineywoods cattle as a strategic asset rather than a niche curiosity. That long-term thinking is exactly why these cattle remain a quiet secret rather than a mainstream trend. What ties Beefmaster, Red Devon, and pineywoods cattle together is not appearance or marketing power. It is functionality. These breeds excel when the goal is to reduce inputs, manage risk, and build a herd that works with the land instead of against it. Smart ranchers know that chasing the most popular breed often means competing with everyone else on the same terms. Choosing a lesser-known breed allows them to operate on their own terms, with fewer surprises and more control. Another reason these breeds stay hidden is cultural. Ranching communities often pass knowledge quietly, through observation and experience rather than loud promotion. When a neighbor sees a herd consistently weaning healthy calves or maintaining body condition through drought, they notice. But that knowledge spreads slowly and selectively. Many ranchers prefer it that way. When everyone rushes toward the same breed, prices rise, genetics dilute, and the original advantages fade. Staying quiet preserves the benefit. There is also a mindset difference at play. Ranchers who gravitate toward these breeds tend to think long-term. They care about soil health, herd longevity, and system resilience more than quick gains. Beefmasters, Red Devon, and pineywoods cattle reward that mindset. They do not demand perfection. They tolerate mistakes, weather swings, and management changes better than many high-maintenance breeds. That forgiveness is invaluable, especially for operations that do not have access to unlimited resources. It is worth noting that none of these breeds are magic solutions. Smart ranchers understand that cattle must match the environment and the goals of the operation. What makes these breeds special is how often they succeed across diverse conditions with minimal intervention. They give ranchers flexibility, which is becoming increasingly important in an unpredictable agricultural landscape. As input costs rise and climate variability increases, cattle that can adapt quietly become more valuable than those that need constant support. For new ranchers or those feeling stuck in a cycle of high costs and narrow margins, learning about these hidden breeds can be eye-opening. It challenges the assumption that success requires following the crowd. Instead, it highlights the value of observation, patience, and choosing animals that fit the land rather than forcing the land to fit the animals. Beefmasters show how balance can outperform extremes. Red Devon demonstrates the power of efficiency and grass-based production. Pineywoods cattle prove that resilience and adaptability can be more valuable than size or speed. When you step back and look at what really drives long-term success in ranching, it becomes clear that popularity is not the same as profitability. The cattle that dominate headlines and auctions are not always the ones quietly paying the bills. The three hidden cattle breeds we talked about prove that efficiency, adaptability, and consistency often matter more than size, hype, or trend. These cattle earn their place through performance in real conditions, not ideal ones, and that is why experienced ranchers trust them. Smart ranchers understand that the best advantage is often the one nobody is shouting about. Choosing cattle that fit your land, your climate, and your management style can reduce stress, lower costs, and create a more resilient operation over time. If this video opened your eyes to a different way of thinking about cattle selection, take a moment to like the video, subscribe for more practical ranching insights, and share your thoughts in the comments. The conversation does not end here, and learning from each other is how smarter herds are built.